He had escaped from Korea to get away from the Japanese and the invasion of China, the rape of Nanking, and all the horrible atrocities. We had to get out. We went to the Philippines, where MacArthur and the mighty American fleet was, in Manila. And as soon as Pearl Harbor was hit, the Philippines was hit, our town was bombed. Japanese came to our house, took my dad away. Then they came back and took us, and we ended in prison camps for 3 years.
Wow.
And that's where I started to draw. Starving, nothing to do but die.
Did you understand why you were there? You were awfully young. You had no idea.
I was very young. I do remember my folks always teaching me, love the Japanese. They're people too. And there were good guards that I played with. Some of them were Christians, raised by American missionaries in Japan.
Yeah.
They loved Jesus too. They didn't want to be there any more than we did. But they were trapped in a situation, you know.
Wow, what an experience. Your dad, they say took him away? Hopefully they brought him back?
Well, he was taken along with other Westerners to build our prison camp.
Okay.
And broke his back in the process. But anyway, we were finally reunited with him. We thought he was dead. But there he was. And we ended up finally in our last of 3 camps was Los Baños. And then finally they scheduled us for execution. They had started killing prisoners in other prison camps. You've probably seen The Great Raid in the theaters. It's been a big movie, and our story, we were right next to them. We were next.
Really?
And we were scheduled for execution. As we were lined up, 9 C-47s flew over and 135 American paratroopers dropped out.
Come on, say that again. You were lined up, ready for execution? You're talking about not just, you know, you're talking about you were lined up, ready. You were next.
We were going to die.
You were going to die. And
we didn't know it.
You didn't know it.
But our spies knew it. They'd gotten out without being shot that time. Got to MacArthur. He pulled together some generals and had a quick evacuation plan for us. Pulled 511th Infantry out of 4 days of constant battle. And Company B was asked, over 2,000 of our citizens are going to die tomorrow morning. We know you haven't had hot food or showers and you've been fighting for 4 days. You're tired. But how many of you are willing to sacrifice your lives? Many of you will die. How many of you volunteer to go across that bay behind enemy lines, get our people out before they're killed? Every hand went up.
Wow. Isn't that incredible? We need to see more of that today, don't we? Love each other and care that much for each other. So how many fighter planes came over?
9 C-47. They're cargo planes that held paratroopers.
So
they dropped.
What year was that?
7 a.m. February 23, 1945. That's the day I was born again.
You were born again, yeah?
They dropped, got in a circle, and had prayer. That's when America prayed to win.
Wow.
That's when America fought to win. That's when America won. And everybody backed the commander-in-chief, whether we liked him or not.
Yes.
We backed him up, we didn't criticize him, and we won and liberated hundreds of millions of people. Japan, Germany, Philippines, China, they're all free today because America at that time knew how to unite, fight, and liberate.
One nation under God.
And those guys prayed, and now all military studies the Los Baños raid as the most perfectly executed liberation plan. Not one of us was killed. Not one.
Not one, really?
They expected 25% of us to die. Not one.
Wow. That's incredible. There must have been a tremendous amount of paratroopers there.
Only 135, against 15,000 Japanese. The Tiger Division, 4th Division, these were the hardened Japanese soldiers who had fought their way through China, killing, raping, terrorizing, using live Chinese for bayonet practice.
Wow.
And now they were next door to us. Mean guys.
Yeah.
And these young GIs who just came out of Fort Benning, Georgia, the first paratroopers, had to fight those guys off.
Wow.
So it was a tremendous
Tremendous testimony.